have in your book this wonderful term, forensic listening. We've all heard of active listening before. Some of us have heard of deep listening. What is forensic listening?
Are you the kind of person that just kind of fades out when things get rough? And what you can do with that, Mick, is the idea here is that if somebody repeats something more than once, it's important to them. So you need to write that down.
This is that implementation thing that everybody who's listening should definitely pay attention to.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. I've got a real special treat to you today. We have a 2-for-1 deal. We have 2 special guests with us. Well, Adele is an expert in crisis communication and a contributor to the Wall Street Journal, and Chip is an ex-FBI hostage negotiator. And you have in your book this wonderful term, forensic listening. We've all heard of active listening before. Some of us have heard of deep listening. What is forensic listening?
So forensic listening is simply the study and analysis of a conversation after it's happened, because we say words leaves clues. And it's simply this. It is listening in 4 respects. And that is through emotion that the person is presenting, the themes they're developing, their body positioning, and their voice, their pitch, tone, and cadence. So the first is, let's talk about the emotion. What is it that the person that you're talking to or is engaged in a conversation, it's in a meeting, let's say it's a client call, it's a lecture, whatever it is, what emotion seems to be predominant as they're speaking on that topic? And the next thing you want to look at is, now what themes are they developing? You know, it could be, the idea here is that if somebody repeats something more than once, it's important to them. And it should be doubly important to you if you're trying to establish a connection to this person. So you need to write that down. What themes are you hearing? The other is the body positioning. And what we say in this, Mick, is that, you know, we're all creatures of movement, you know, and how we interact in our world. So if the person, you know, let's say it's a potential client, is in front of you and you notice that they're kind of just like low level, you know, just talking, but when they get on this specific theme, you're hearing that emotion attached to it. And now, right, they're more animated. You see their hands moving, you see their head shaking, right? You're picking some things up. You're like, okay, that's important. And the other is their voice. And we all know it, right? When we're excited about something, or the rapidity of, you know, of our words and the pace, the tone, everything kind of increases as we're excited. So we're looking at the body language. They're leaning in, right? They're very excited by this. And whatever that is, theme development, what is it that they're talking about and repeating about? And now you've got an idea about what that conversation is about. What they're really getting to, you notice as they're repeating some things, is how dependable are you? Are you the kind of person that just kind of fades out when things get rough, or we have an issue with deliverables and you're not around and I can't get a hold of you? And what you can do with that, Mick, is, let's say 2 weeks from now, after you've had that meeting, you go back to that person because you've taken notes, you figured it out what it is.
This is that implementation thing that everybody who's listening should definitely pay attention to.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. Yeah.
And now you're going to say, we call this targeted validation. You know, I've been thinking about our conversation. And right off the bat, just that statement alone puts you, you know, in the top 10% of people in their world. Because who listens at that level and is willing to say something back to that person about that? And the next thing you're going to say is, you know, I know we were meeting about, you know, what our service could do for you and your company, but I got a sense that, you know, you were really searching and maybe you had a bad experience with a past vendor who wasn't dependable in the way that you needed. Am I close on that? Boom. And then what you use that for is when they're like, yeah, that's a big deal. You're like, you know, I heard you. And I just want you to know that I went back to my team and I said, you know, it doesn't matter when that we have the best product or we have the best service out there. If our client can't depend on us to be there through the thick and thin, we're no good. Attention is such a precious thing. And when we can give that to another person, we're in the top 1%, because we've told them your value. I value your time. I value what you're saying. And I'm willing to, to extrapolate on that and to bring it back to my company. And here's what I learned.
But it's true, because everyone wants to feel seen. Everyone wants to feel heard. They want to feel like they matter. And it's the deepest form of respect to be able to listen to someone, but to truly unpick and to be curious. Show the curiosity that you're not just listening to the words, that you're listening to, you use this term in your book as well, the unstated narrative. What's the story behind this conversation that maybe isn't being said, but you're getting curious to find out what the real story is? And the words of Stephen Covey are screaming in my head. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. So you're using these forensic listening skills to truly understand what is going on in that person's world. The words are a clue, but the other clues, that emotion, what's the emotion in the room right now? What are the themes? What are the topics that keep on repeating? And then what's happening with the energy? And the energy could be the body position. It could be the tone of the voice. Oh, that topic there, that's really important. And if I do use the word negotiation here on purpose now, you're also going to get clues, Chip, on where there might be room to move. Because on the words or the part of the narrative where they're quite calm and relaxed and who cares about that? There might be something there that you can negotiate as a trade where, okay, this topic didn't seem so important to them. This topic did seem important to them. And then the art of negotiation is the ability to trade, to be able to give them what they want in exchange for something that you want, and to unlock value in that conversation. But we can't do it. We can't unlock value in the conversation unless we're forensic listening.